It's intermission time. It's great to get out to the movies.
Welcome to Intermission. My name is Olivia, and I'll be hosting today for Megan. And we have Andrew and Anthony on the show today. So, do you guys just want to start us off with an intro of who you are, what you do?
I'm Anthony Scott. I'm a stop motion animator, and I've been working in the business since the late '80s. Got my first job was on Gumby TV series, so clay animation, and then a few years later, I worked on The Nightmare Before Christmas, and since then, I've worked on several feature films, like more recently Coraline, Wendell and Wild, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and The Littles.
And I'm Andrew. Writer director of The Littles, mostly an author. Prior to this, I had a book called Too Scared to Sleep that was published by HarperCollins a couple of years ago, and then producer of American Horror Stories on Hulu, and formerly on the show, but many years ago. Yeah, happy to be on. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you. I have to say, I remember that movie came out when I was a kid, and it genuinely, and to this day, scares me so badly.
Awesome.
The scariest movie I'd ever seen as a kid, and it still freaks me
Wow.
out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for that
And
feedback. Yeah. It's a creepy film.
I agree
yeah,
with you, Olivia, for what it's worth.
I'm curious about your book, Andrew. When did you start writing that? And kind of like what started it? Because it's a collection
Yeah.
of teen horror stories, right?
Yeah, it's basically I call it kind of Black Mirror for teens. I started writing it by just posting short stories on my Instagram every week, and yeah, like a few swipes of stories, so not very long. And then eventually, if I remember this correctly, the publisher reached out to me through Instagram and was like, "Hey, like, what do you think about turning this into a book?" And then yeah, it came together as Too Scared to Sleep, 30 short stories and 30 short movies that you can scan via QR code.
I love that concept with the video element with it. That's really cool. So this is a question that we like to ask everybody who comes on our show. It's a question that might stump you, but I love seeing everyone's answer for this. If you had to describe where you're at right now in your life, what would you like? What movie would you pick?
I'll do one of my favorite movies, Talk to Me. Um, Anthony and I just did The Littles, and it's in the middle of this festival run, but we were fortunate enough to find a home at Paramount to make it into a feature. And I think I've just grabbed the Talk to Me hand, and I'm talking to someone, in that limbo state. So that's how I feel right now. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah.
Do you agree, Anthony?
Yeah, yeah. This is a hard question for me. I don't.
Yeah.
My first thought was Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
That's kind of cute.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of wacky, unpredictable, silly, all kinds of crazy characters, and but all a good heart in there. Good story and a lot of fun. So that was my first thought, and I thought I don't know if that's exactly where my life is right now, but I think over the course of many years, definitely lots of adventures.
I love
You
how
know.
different those movies are from each other.
Both are a roller coaster. Both are a roller coaster.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into just some general questions to get to know you through your movie tastes. So my first question is, do you have a favorite animated film that isn't marketed to kids?
I think it's the new Alien film on Hulu. What's it? I don't remember the name. Dang.
Predator?
Yeah, Predator. It's
Or
Predator.
okay,
Killers of
It's
yeah
animated.
Predator. Yeah, Predator. Killers of Killers, and it's animated, and it's beautiful, and it's the best. Honestly,
cool.
highly recommend.
I'm blanking on the name. It's a series on Netflix. It's all the short animated.
Oh, it's Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, I love Death and Robots.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many interesting ideas in that and styles. So, but yeah, I don't think it's for kids necessarily unless they're brave kids.
And I think Coraline is my favorite animated film that's marketed to kids that
True.
is too scary for kids.
True. True.
Is there a movie that you were probably too young to see, but you saw it anyway?
I was pretty sheltered. I didn't see, growing up there, there's just like three TV channels. So you couldn't really see anything. There was no video. Uh, and I think cable TV was just starting. So I don't know. I mean, I loved all the stuff I saw when I was a kid on TV, the Ray Harryhausen, Sinbad movies and things like that. And it was a little scary for me, but I didn't have any too many nightmares from it.
Is there one that you watched that made you want to go into animation?
Probably, well, there's a lot. There's a few. King Kong, the 1933 version, definitely inspired me so much that I wanted to make my own version of King Kong. And I built a huge arm and hand, King Kong hand, in the garage at my parents' house and tried to make it work. But yeah, I was definitely inspired. And I, took a GI Joe and covered him with fur and clay to make him into an ape, and I animated him. So definitely was inspired by that one.
What about you, Andrew? Is there a movie that you watched from a really young age that you were probably way too young to watch?
I think probably Jaws would be up there pretty high. That definitely shook me. Really fun creature feature. I love creature features. Any creature feature, kind of like Anthony, like all the King Kongs, anything creature wise. I did like I. You reminded me of a different question, Olivia, for your last question around
Mm.
sort of creepy animated movies for children that are spooky. One is this stop motion film. I think it's called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh,
Anthony,
all
I
the
don't.
Christmas, yeah, yeah,
Yes, the Christmas stop motion I think is super scary
it
and
is.
eerie. Yeah, it is, right? And it just kind of like, I don't know, it's stuck in my mind forever, and it's always on.
I all those like they're like the claymation
Yes,
Christmas movies. I just rewatched last Christmas the Santa Claus is Coming to Town
yes,
one.
yes.
And yeah, I
Yeah,
remember watching Rudolph as well and Frosty the Snowman, although I think that's not stop motion.
that's
Yeah,
2D. Yeah.
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 But those are scary. The Rudolph is scary.
It's
I
like
mean,
creepy. It's like kind of
it's creepy.
uncanny. Yeah.
It's creepy. It's cold
Um
out. It's like otherworldly almost.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
also really liked the one with the heat miser and the
Yeah.
Yes,
one.
yes,
Yeah.
It's yeah, I love that song, little dance number they
Yeah.
do.
yes,
The two brothers. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Within that vein, is there a movie that kind of was the first movie that truly scared you?
Okay, Silence of the Lambs was pretty terrifying.
Mm.
And also the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was pretty terrifying. I watched that one by myself late at night. And I was an adult when I saw it.
That's scary.
It just creeped me out more than anything.
Yeah.
And that's based on, I guess, true events. And knowing that, or psychologically, that freaked me out. Knowing that there's a family that lives like that or did live like that, and of course, it was a movie, but so that kind of thing, people being terrorized by crazy people. That's pretty scary for me.
That is scary. Probably The Ring for me. I don't
Mm.
know. It was creepy. The rules were good in it, really tight.
The last one I saw that scared me really bad was Bring Her Back.
Oh,
Heard that one. Like
Bring her.
uh,
it's from the
that
Talk to
it's
Me
the
guys.
yeah, it's the same people who did Talk to Me. And it's not even that I don't know what I was expecting. It was like it's just so dreadful is the word I keep using. Like it filled me
Yes,
with such a feeling of dread after.
yes,
Um, rather
yes,
than fear, I just felt dead inside
yes.
Bring
leaving.
her
Yeah,
back. What is the
I did
premise
too.
of that? Like coming back from the
Um,
dead type thing?
it's yeah, it's kind of a wild premise. Like there, these two foster kids. Um, one of them is blind, and it's a brother and sister, and they move into this foster home, and the foster mom is ends up like spoiler alert, but basically she is trying to kill the girl so she can perform a ritual and bring her daughter back from
Oh, okay.
back to life. And yeah, and it's just so like the ending is just so horrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree with you, Olivia. That movie was like a great movie, but it did make me feel kind of dead inside after. And same with Talk
Hmm.
to Me, to be honest. After I
Yeah,
saw Talk
it's
to Me, I like had to go outside and walk and touch grass per
Oh
se.
man,
A
these
great
yeah.
sound
movie.
these sound tough.
Yeah,
Well,
it's tough.
can I mention a book that I read that freaked me
Yeah,
out?
yeah.
Pet Cemetery.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and they have a movie on that one
Yeah,
too, but I haven't seen it.
but I read the book
Anthony.
first, and yes, I read the book
I don't know
first,
why I have that
and
handy.
it just got into my head. Just the whole, the little kid getting hit. Yeah, it's so violent and
Oh,
creepy. Just anyway, if you know the story, it's just a very creepy idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of got into my head too. And then when I saw the movie, it wasn't as scary as the book. The book just really got to me.
That's actually interesting too. I don't read a lot of horror books, but I always think it's really impressive to feel true like fear or feeling scared when reading a book as opposed to watching a movie. So that's like a huge compliment to the author.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to read, but you do want to read. You find out what happens. There's this dread that you're talking about
Mm,
totally.
that awaits on each page.
yeah.
But you want to find out what's happening, but it's horrifying.
Speaking of horror, is there a horror trope that you love or on the flip that you really hate or are sick of seeing?
I don't like a lot of like blood in horror movies. I'd rather be scared,
Mm.
and I like suspense, so I prefer that. And that could be scary, but I don't need the excess blood and guts and stuff like that.
I'm gonna agree. Totally agree. I think that's a great one. Yeah.
I agree. I don't know what this is from or what it's called, but it's kind of there's a movie or how today in movies we're so used to seeing violence and guns, and there's this movie and I can't uh remember what it is, but I listened to somebody talk about how the whole movie there's like no violence at all. And then
Oh.
like there's a scene where they pull out a gun and it's super jarring and super scary because like the whole movie they hadn't had any of that. And so the
Hmm.
moment when it happens is so unsettling and off-putting. Whereas like if you have that throughout the entire movie, you kind of become desensitized to it and it's not as impactful. And I kind of see the same thing with horror movies, like being overly gory and
Yeah.
where sometimes suspense is way scarier.
Totally
Yep.
agree.
Is there a film that feels like it was made just for you?
I mean, for me, and it feels like I'm going to be setting this up, but Nightmare Before Christmas feels like it was made for me. I'm such a fan of it.
That's sweet, yeah.
It's why I'm obsessed with Anthony. I think he's just a true, amazing artist. And every time I watch that film, I just feel like I'm in a bubble bath, and it's just the best feeling in the world. So yeah, easy answer.
I would say Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Mm.
I had always wanted to see, you know, the Warner Brother characters and the Disney characters come together, and they did it in a live action world, and they haven't made a movie like that since. And so when that movie came out, it just felt really special. And combining live action and animation is a thing I love anyway. So yeah, that movie was made for me.
I love that answer. Those are two perfect answers.
By the way, he's
Uh,
being modest. He combined live action and animation on our movie, our little movie, The Littles, so well.
oh my
Um,
God, I watched it and it was like it looked amazing.
Really
Oh,
appreciate that.
thanks.
All credit goes to this guy, Anthony Scott. It was fantastic. We'll get into it later, but that's a category he's quite in.
Actually, that's actually a perfect segue
Cool.
into your short, The Littles. I have a little description here about it for the listener. When 11-year-old Juliet stubs her toe on a loose floorboard, she unwittingly sets off a series of mysterious events. A faint noise and an unusual glow seeping through the cracks capture her curiosity, but as she investigates, Juliet finds herself pulled into a chilling, otherworldly encounter. So my first question, well, actually have two first questions. One, how did you both connect and meet each other? And then two, what was the original spark for the Littles, and how did it all come together?
So, I mean, for me, I just went to my most favorite, best movie ever, Nightmare Before Christmas, and I said, who animated this? And I think I just sort of like cycled through each person's profile, and then I went to Anthony's Instagram, and I just thought, wow, like imagine if we could get Anthony Scott on this little project, this little dinky project. And I don't even know how I got your email, Anthony. I found it on the internet probably, and I sent him this sort of pathetic email where I was like, hey, please work with us. And he was nice enough to work with us, and it's a big reason why the Littles even looks like it does today. In terms of the original idea, I grew up in a really old house, very creaky, you know, barely any AC in the summer, so it was quite quiet, and it just would
Mm.
creak and make noises and, weird sounds. And I always thought that there were, little humanoids living under the floorboards.
Did you grow up in the East Coast?
Yeah, Northeast. So Stephen King vibes.
I grew up in Rhode Island, and I
Oh
lived
yeah.
in a house. Each house I've lived in, both my childhood homes were over 100 years old, built in the 1800s. And so, yeah, I relate. I think I definitely believe my house was haunted, like in a good way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just, yeah, super creaky. I had the light switches that were those light switches
Oh
instead of
yeah.
like flipping them, they're little buttons.
Yes.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, and so I think also really resonated with your short
Yeah, you
because
get it.
I get it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you get
That's
it.
super cool.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
Um,
totally.
can you talk about the stop motion animation process? I'm curious how long it took to do, and then how you incorporated it with the live action elements.
Andrew contacted me. We had to figure out a design, and had to find a puppet maker. So we found this super talented artist, puppet maker, Katie Strutz, and she gave us some designs to look at. Andrew settled on a design, and then she created the puppets. So that took, she was able to actually do that pretty quickly. She only made one of each puppet. Usually, when you work on a bigger movie, you've got multiple duplicates in case things break, or you have multiple animators on the show. And it was just me animating, so we just need one of each puppet. So she was able to build, one version of each family member. Meanwhile, a set was being built by someone. I didn't have any interaction with him, but Andrew, you know more than I
Yes.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Aiden. And it had to be the same scale for the live action shoot, because it was in the shots. So we couldn't. Sometimes when you're working with miniature characters, you go a little bit bigger so you can see more detail. But we had to work with the same scale. So these puppets ended up pretty small. I have one right here if you want to see.
Yeah, oh my God.
This is the
Oh,
elder. So you can see. Yeah. And they have little wire armatures so you can move their, arms and legs, turn their head, make them run and walk. They have little holes in the bottom of their feet so you can tie them down into the set with a screw. Here's another one here. But yeah, so they're just they're handmade puppets.
So cool.
And then I would move them frame by frame. So just turn the head. We had eye blinks. I'd make the eyes blink. Yeah, just frame by frame. And so stop motion animation, any animation is 24 frames per second. So 24 images per second. And
Wow.
then, so yeah, you get a couple seconds per day, depending on the complexity of the shot. If there's multiple characters or if there's any rigging involved, which would support the character if they had to jump up into the air, that kind of thing had to be all sorted out, and a lot of prep for that. But I don't know. I think it was just maybe 2 months total because we were working over Thanksgiving and Christmas. The studio I was at was shut down during that time, so I had no access. But we wrapped it up in January earlier this year.
And this is a 6-7 minute short, so like I can't even imagine how tedious it was for like The Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, Pinocchio, like all of those movies. It must have taken so long.
Yeah, that's why we have duplicate puppets and sets and multiple animators working on it. A team of like 20 animators working on a film that's a full on stop motion feature film. And then and so we had a few live shots where he jumps up onto the floor on top of the floorboards, and he's coming at Violet. So there were a couple shots where the hands coming up. You probably saw that. Had to be comped into the live action plate. So that was a bit of technical, making sure the camera angle matched what was shot on the live action set. And this is the stuff I love figuring out, like interaction with live actors. And I had that experience once before on a film called Monkey Bone, where Brendan Fraser's in it, and there's a monkey character and he's climbing all over him, and there's a lot of interaction. So I'm really looking forward to the feature where we can do more of that kind of thing.
I'm really invested. I can't wait for the feature.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that you liked it, and appreciate you took the time to watch it.
Yeah, I have so many more questions. I'm curious, what was the most important visual beat to get right in the short? Because it is only 6 minutes, and did you have a specific frame in mind where you're like, we have to get this?
I'll do live action. On the live action side, I think the floorboard movement when it flips up and then the light clicks on, because that's sort of like, that's when it goes from like, this is a normal night to like sort of Guillermo del Toro wonder moment. What's coming, where is this light coming from beneath the floorboard? And it was also difficult to do. We actually like called the landlord up and we're like, hey, we need to saw this floorboard open. We hired a handyman on TaskRabbit. He was wonderful. He came, cut the floorboard up. We tied a piece of string to it, and we just kind of yanked it up a little bit. And we had a fantastic sound design team in Eugenio and the whole team up there in Vancouver that were able to execute that, and it really clicked for me. So that would be to me the moment we needed to nail, and sort of the WTF, what's under the floor.
Mm-hmm. And what about for animation?
Well, the first couple of weeks of animation, we were experimenting. So there's shots that didn't make it because we were testing ideas with shadows, things like that. And they look cool, but you kind of learn as you go and figure out what's going to be better. And to me, I think the shot where we first see the elder just popping his head up just a little bit, and you're like, what is that? And you don't really know. You can't, I didn't want to show too much, I didn't want to give away too much. So, and then he disappears and bumps into the chair, and you're like, well, what is that thing? And then it pops up again. You get a little bit more, but then he disappears again. And the lights go out, and you see him scurry away, and it's just you see a shadow of him move. And I think it's really effective. It's very creepy, but if it was all fully lit and you saw his whole body, I think, or if you saw more of his face, it wouldn't be as creepy, So we had to get that just right. And I'm pretty happy with that shot.
Is there a shot that you had tested that didn't make the final cut that you are bummed about, that you wish like everybody could see?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Because you see elements of them in the final version. You still see cool shadows and things like that. We were just testing out different ideas, and this always happens in the beginning of a stop motion shoot. You're trying to figure out like what the lighting is like, what the what color should the wall be. You're trying to figure out you're bringing all these elements and all these departments together for the first time, and you're looking at it going, is this really what we want to go for? And then you have to set that, once you settle on it, and then move from there. So in the beginning, there's always testing. There's puppet testing, and then making it time to make adjustments, and then get in there and shoot the real shot. But yeah, early on, I think we tested like a foil ball rolling. Remember that one?
Yes, love that one.
As if like someone tossed it out. And that was pretty creepy and kind of cool, but it just didn't, we didn't need it. So, and there was a couple of shadow gags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if something broke, you wouldn't like you only had that one figurine, right?
Oh, if they broke, they lasted until the last shot, and I broke his arm just because the wire only has so many bends, and then wire just breaks. So in the middle of the shot, Katie came and stitched him up and fixed him up. He can't even tell, but repaired the wire. And that happens on movies too. I've had it happen many times. I broke Jack Skellington on a shot, and they had to fix him in the middle of a shot. They fixed him, and I just kept going.
I'm curious, this is random, but do you have any of the figurines from, I don't know if that's the correct word, or the puppets from
Yeah.
The Nightmare Before Christmas or any other movies you've worked on?
I have a few things. I don't have any puppets from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I have a couple of Oogie Boogie bugs, those little wire. They're just like simple wire bugs. Yeah, I have a puppet from Wendell and Wild, and that's a film that was on Netflix. And that was Henry Selick's last feature film, actually. Same director from Nightmare Before Christmas. But I have a few odds and ends and some. Let's see. I've got a Pillsbury Doughboy that I use in a commercial in 1989, and it's just the skin. It doesn't have armature, and usually you have either wire or you have a ball and socket armature inside the puppet that can be tensioned. It has little screws, and you can actually. Have you seen those before?
I don't know. Maybe.
So this is a ball and socket armature. So this would be inside a puppet like Jack Skellington or Coraline. So you can see there's screws here that can be tensioned. So some animators like it a little looser, some like it tighter. Sometimes you're fighting against foam or silicone, so you really got to crank it down. And then you got to make sure the ankles are strong enough to support the puppet.
That's so cool. And then it wears and it has like the skin over it.
Yeah. So you've got either foam latex or silicone, and then cloth costumes. And that's how these things last for a whole movie. They have these really solid armatures built underneath them. But yeah, like I told you, I actually broke a shoulder joint of Jack Skellington right here. I mean, this isn't Jack, but I mean, basically it was this. I was animating a very close shot, and it just, I don't know what happened. It just popped it. They had to come in, unstitch the costume, get in there, replace the joint, restitch up the costume. I had to try to get him back in his position. Luckily, he was kind of moving anyway, so you can't even tell. There's no pop, but those are the kinds of things that happen on a stop motion show. Sometimes you got to fix things, and they make for great stories.
Yeah, it's super fascinating. I love the whole art of puppetry. There's a theater here in LA called Bob Baker's Marionette, and they do like traditional marionette shows with puppets, and it's so like I went last year for Halloween, and it's just the coolest thing ever. I just
Cool.
hope that like we keep that art alive.
Agree.
For you, Andrew, what made you I guess decide that stop motion was the way to go for this story?
I just love stop motion. I've always been a fan of it as an art form. I think that I think Katie said this in a letterbox interview, Anthony, but she said something like stop motion hits you in a different part of your brain. And I truly believe that, especially in the age of AI. I'm so pro stop motion in the art form of it and the way
Yeah.
it looks and the way it feels, and it just looks human made. And especially in horror, I just don't, like we were talking about with the Christmas movies earlier, they're burned in my brain for that reason. I think it's because they really truly look human made and a real piece of art. I don't know what you think, Anthony, and why stop motion sticks out, because you've been in it for so long, but that's what I think, at least.
Yeah, what was that quote that Katie said about it's like you don't know if it's real or what. Like you don't really know what it is.
Right.
There's sort of a mystery to it. And I always loved to bring people by the studio while I was shooting and show them, this is what I'm doing. This is a miniature world that's been built, and there are puppets on it, and there's lights, and there's cameras, but it's a miniature world. And it exists. It's a real thing. It's not drawn. It's not in the computer. It's right there. And a lot of people don't realize it until they see it. And then you take them down the corridor on the stage and you show them another one and another one. And yeah, it's always fun to do that. Give a tour
Totally.
and watch the reactions that people have.
I have a feeling I'm going to know the answer for this for Andrew, but were there any animated references that help shape the tone of the movie?
You do know the answer. It is in fact Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline and Anthony Scott's filmography. But go ahead, Anthony. You're the animator.
I mean, this is a whole new thing. I was very excited to work on something that was live action and horror, scary. And a lot of the films I do work on are kind of scary, but this is, something under the floor making, is creepy, and someone, and the girl has to investigate, she's compelled to figure out what that is. And then she's so, positive about it. Like she thinks they're friendly. I didn't have any reference for it. I just had to look at the designs and talk to Andrew and, figure out, what their motivation was and what the story needs. And based on the way the puppets looked and the world they were living in, the little house, kind of go from there and, use my imagination to create their characters and their personalities. But yeah, I didn't look at any other thing for inspiration necessarily.
I think that's the coolest thing though, because you are the reference. You
Yeah,
are
exactly.
the blueprint, basically.
Yeah, we did act out. Some of the shots, the action shots, were acted out in video just to kind of get an idea of poses and timings and things like that, which is super helpful.
I think you hit it on the head, though, Anthony. It's like you start with wonder, the wonder being this beautiful light under the floorboard. It could be anything. It could be a hidden, amazing Narnia, Alice in Wonderland world. And then you end with, fear, which is, this family is protecting their family like any family would. And to what length?
My couple last questions for this segment is, have there been any reactions that have surprised you from the audience, whether it's in festivals or just people you've shown the film to?
New York Comic-Con was fantastic, amazing. We had almost 800 people show up for a 300-person room, so we sadly had to turn people away. We were so shocked that, I'm still wondering why they came. But there was packed house for that, and the biggest shock to me was when the little brother gets impaled by the nail and dies, and he falls down on the table and kind of slams into the table, and the parents are kind of looking up, like this. There was 2 or 3 people that were crying, and then they came up to me after, and their eyes watered. They're like, that just shook me. It hit me in such a weird way that it really stuck with me. And that's when I knew. I was like, wow, stop motion truly makes people feel so different when you watch it. And that was the scene that did it.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I haven't been to any of the screenings, the festivals or anything, so I haven't gotten any reactions from people directly. Um, but I did read comments. You know, people were saying that this would make a really good feature film. so,
Wow.
so that's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
really cool.
yeah,
And then my last question is, what do you hope lingers with the viewers after the film ends?
I hope that the audience gets a sense for, I think, the effort that the artists like Anthony and Katie put in to each one of these scares, and it's totally worth it on our side. And I hope they enjoy and are able to get scared from this sort of live action horror blend that you don't see that often. And we're excited to share more and do more in that space. And we think that this was a great sort of tester. So I think that aspect of it, that blend.
yeah. I think that if people feel like they're seeing something new and different, and I feel like this is different, you know, and it does stand out. So that's what I hope people take away. Like it's memorable, you know, and it, people want to see more, that kind of feeling. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. And so congrats again, because it's such a cool blend of mediums, and it really looks great.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Um,
Olivia. Thanks for the time, and the questions were fantastic. Really appreciate
oh
it.
yeah, well we have one more segment.
Oh, okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's gonna be really quick. It's called This or That, and I'm just gonna list two different things. And you don't have to have the same answers, but just like gut feeling, which one would you pick? So I'll just get into it. Hand painted textures or clean digital
Hand
animation?
painted.
Hand painted.
Yeah, I knew that one. Uh, cute character designs or unsettling realism?
The second one.
Same.
Yeah.
I think unsettling is a great way to put the elder little that Anthony showed earlier. It's real. It feels hyper realistic.
Saturated colors or muted monochrome?
Muted monochrome. This is why we're friends.
Slow burn or sudden shock
Oh
in terms
wow.
in terms of horror?
Yeah, slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
Ambiguous ending or definitive answers?
Ooh,
Ooh,
I kind of like ambiguous actually.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. I see why you guys are working together.
It was really easy to work with.
Yeah.
Atmospheric horror or plot-driven horror?
Atmospheric for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm drawn to, atmospheric horror for sure.
I actually don't know the answer to this one because I feel like it could go either way. Fairy tale or grounded realism?
Fairy tale.
Yeah, fairy tale for sure.
Psychological horror or creature horror?
Creature.
Psychological.
Ooh, okay.
Anthony, no.
And then
Oh, I
last,
love I love The Shining. That's one of my favorite horror
yeah.
Oh
films.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
And then my last one is silent protagonist or unreliable narrator.
silent protagonist.
Yeah, ditto, ditto,
Yeah.
ditto. For sure.
Well, that's kind of all I have for you. Thank you both so much for coming on the show. This is really cool.
Thanks, Olivia. It's
And
nice
Yeah,
to
thank
meet
thank
you
you,
you.
Olivia.
for showing all of the animated things and stop motion stuff. That's really cool. We've never had a animation artist on the show before.
Thank you for having us
Awesome.
on. We're
Yeah.
fans of the channel, and
Thank you.
we'd love to always come back on. Maybe for the future, we'll come back on if we're welcome. Oh, we love it.
So yeah, just to wrap up, do you want to both plug where you can watch the short, any news about the feature, or any upcoming projects you have, and where to find you?
So you could see the short. I think we're waiting to hear from like 3 or 4 more festivals, and then I'm not sure if it's going on online or not. But we're going to share a bunch of clips with Intermission Time, so you can see it on Intermission Time's Instagram. Um, and then next for me is the Littles. That's sort of the big one. Gotta make sure the feature script is tight and ready to go, and ready for Anthony to read it and give me tough feedback. But yeah, that's my and you can find me on Instagram at Andrew Duplessie.
Yeah, I'm excited to read the script. Excited about this next Little's journey. And you can find me, I have a website, anthonyscott.net. I'm on Instagram, anthonyscott.animation.
Thank you. I'm really excited for you both.
Thanks, Olivia. Thanks for the time today.
Good evening.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. To stay in touch, follow our Instagram page at It's Intermission Time and share with your friends. As always, Intermission is produced by Jazeel Chu and Olivia Dean, and of course, hosted by yours truly, Megan Braun. This episode is brought to you by The Synagogue.